Let's say we're in one CDK project and we want to have resources reference each other in different stacks. How do we set that up? You can see that I've got a Lambda stack here, which is just the brush your teeth application with the event bridge rule and a Lambda function. What we're going to do is move the event bridge rule to its own stack, and then we're going to link it up to the Lambda function. So let me copy this stack here. We'll call it event stack. And I'm going to rename the class here, and I'll rename the properties as well. Whoops. Then I think for just the event bridge rule, we don't actually need our log level, so let's close that out. And we will remove the Lambda function creation and remove the private method that makes the Lambda function. Then in our Lambda stack, we'll remove the event bridge rule, we'll remove the bit that ties the event bridge rule to the Lambda function, and we'll remove the private method that creates the event bridge rule. So there we go. So we've now got an unused variable in our Lambda stack, and in our event stack, we've got a compilation error because Lambda function is missing. So we need to join the two together. So in our props here for iEvent stack, let's add in the Lambda function. And it's going to be an I function. Make sure we import the one from Lambda, not CloudFront. Then we can change Lambda function here to props.lambda function. And good, that compiles, that's all happy. Then on this side, we need to add a public field for our Lambda function. So that's going to be, we'll call it Lambda function as well, why not? And it's going to be an I function. And then we're going to set this dot Lambda function to that instead of const Lambda function for a variable in the local scope. All right, let's see how we wire these two stacks together. Let's head to the bin folder and we'll start off by initializing our event stack. And that's going to be attached with the same name it had before. And then does that need any properties, or are we all happy? I think that's okay. Whoops, I put this there rather than app. Okay, we're missing a Lambda function. So let's define our Lambda stack first. And that's going to be called the same thing again in the logical ID. And then I think we had to provide a log level here, didn't we? Yeah, log level. So let's set just to info for now. Then our Lambda function property can be filled in the event stack, and that can be lambda stack dot lambda function because we added that public read-only property of I function. All right, so before we go and deploy this, let's have a look at what comes out when we do the synth. So I'm going to do an npm run synth. Because we've got multiple stacks, it won't show me anything on the console. It will tell me to look in cdk.out. So let's look at Lambda stack first. So Lambda stack has got 4 resources: the metadata, the function, the IAM policy and associated role that is going to go into the function. But we've got something we might not have seen before with our CDK. So we've got an output here. And this output has been automatically named and automatically detected to use the Lambda function ARN. Okie dokie. So let's see, now that we've got this auto-wired output, how that's being used in the event stack. On the event side, where we've got our event target, we're using fn import value, which imports a value from another CloudFormation stack, and we're looking in Lambda stack, and then this this auto-generated name here for the function ARN. And that's pretty much it. That's how it's wired together. And we can do a deployment and it will deploy them in the correct order. So let's do an npm run deploy -- all. Okay, so our Lambda stack has been deployed and now the event stack has been deployed. And CDK's actually created that dependency relationship for us. We didn't have to do that ourselves. So we'll wait for that to deploy. All right, and that is everything deployed. While we're here, I just want to chat through something that you might run into when you're trying this for real. So let's go over to our Lambda stack and let's simulate that we're swapping this over to a different Lambda function. So I'm going to create a clone of this method, pop a 2 after the end, pop a 2 after the end of the name of the logical resource, and then I'm not even going to delete the existing Lambda function. We'll actually keep that, and we'll say this.lambda function is this.create notification Lambda function 2. We'll give it a log level again, and then we'll set it up like that. So we're just changing our public property over to a different Lambda function, but it's still an I function, still the same sort of thing. So let's see what happens when we try and deploy that. Okay, so it failed, and you may not have caught the error message there, but the error was that it can't delete the export because it's in use. So let's go and have a look at our Lambda stack in the console, give it a refresh so we get the latest version, and you can see that export Lambda stack : the name cannot be deleted as it is in use by event stack. And the problem is that the export name that's getting auto-generated here is based on the construct or resource that it's linked to. So if we move it to a different resource, it's going to try and delete the old output and create a new output. And we have to do that in the Lambda stack first because the event stack depends on the Lambda stack. We've not stated that explicitly, but that's the dependency that we've created by using an export from one of them. So how do we do this? How do we make this work even though we are trying to delete an output that's in use? Luckily, enough people have hit this problem that there's a method that we can use to keep the export there even though the auto wiring magic has gone because we're not linked to it anymore. And what we can do is we can put this original Lambda in a variable. Let's call it original Lambda, and then we're going to call this .export value, and we'll do original Lambda .function arn. If you're unsure as to what value is getting exported, you'd have to have a look either in the old template version or in the export name. So in this case, we're doing getapt on the Lambda function, which will give you the arn. So let's try that with this .export value used. Our Lambda stack deployment succeeded, so we'll do the event stack one now. Okay, and finally we are all done with our new Lambda function. So there's a little way you can work around that challenge when you're wiring exports together like this.